Okay, so you just turn the bike over, and then you would move this out of the way, and then unscrew that one, and unscrew that one, and then move the chain, just like you're doing a regular bike. The only difference is you would have to kind of unroute there. There's a little zip tie there, and then after the box is off, basically you would just undo the connections. I actually have the computer out right now, but you would just undo the connection for it. All right, once you have the bike, the wheel off, obviously the electric motor here, you have to have a park tool, the FR 1.3, and it's large enough to get all the connectors through, and the only connector that can't make it through is one of the larger connectors, and I actually pulled it off, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that in just a minute. But basically you need to remove this connector so you can fit this tool through, and once that 1.3 is in there, again, it's large enough to get around the axle, and then you just, I already loosened it, obviously I couldn't have done that with my finger, but you just loosen this, and that way you can pull the freewheel. It just unscrews and comes off completely. So I'll do this real quick. And that's it. So again, I'm going to convert this to the larger Shimano gear set, which is basically me just screwing on the other gear set I bought on Amazon. It was like 17 bucks. So this is the Shimano Megarange. I bought this on Amazon. Again, it was like $17. Pretty self-explanatory. You just put this back, you put this one on the axle and screw it down onto the hub. It's got the little threads there. So you use the tool that I used before to remove it, the FR 1.3, to put this back onto the bicycle. And then you can just hand tighten it. You don't have to tighten it too much, because when you crank down on the pedal on the bike, when you're actually bicycling, it will automatically tighten it. It runs it in the clockwise rotation, so it'll just tighten it down. So for the wires, I told you I pulled off the one connector here off of it, and so it leaves just a few wires out that need to be dealt with, and of course that connector goes to the brushless motor controller. So in any event, what my solution, I guess, to this, because the wires are such a small gauge, I bought these on Amazon. These are like $7. These are little jumpers, little pin connectors, obviously, but they're jumpers for like breadboards. Well, you got to be careful, because some of these don't have, they're not copper inside. They're like coated, and so they don't really solder too well. But anyway, these, like I said, like $7. And I'm going to put set their color. They'll be color coded to match, you know, these colors here. So you use these on the one end, and then on the motor controller, obviously you would do the same thing with the connections on the other end, and that'll get. So we're going to do that, and then again it'll make it so that way when I pull this apart later to change a tire or something, it'll be much more simple, instead of having to rip this off and then deal with resoldering it, which I already did once before. I'll actually have pin connectors. Okay, so got it back on. The new gear set is been placed on the bike, and ran the wire over and down and re-zip tied right here. Hopefully you can see that okay. And then another zip tie here, and then these are all my little pins. Okay, so it's back together. Massive gear on there. Put the controller back in the box, screwed it down. Pretty straightforward, just the 4 screws. Oh, for the box, sometimes just using, like I was going to show you, but basically using like a Phillips adapter, just like a screwdriver adapter, a longer one. You can just stick it in here and almost like hand tighten it. And it seems like it's okay. I feel like there's a better solution to this, especially if you're out on the road. You need to access some of the wiring for whatever reason. Like say, again, you have a flat tire. You need to change it on the fly. But anyway, all the connectors seem to work. I'll show you. The battery's partially charged. And I'll lift this up. Let's see if I can do this one hand here. Oops. So that's about it. The Ancheer bike and how to add a larger gear set, or how to access the, just take the rear wheel off. So however this video is useful to you, there you go.